Good morning. Good morning. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And this is a bit of a reference video that I wanted to record about my card decks because there's a few things happening and there's a lot of questions, and I thought that I would share the process, what's going on, what's happening with the various decks in a video that will also become a resource. So then if people ask me questions in the future, I might be able to share back to this video. So welcome. I'm recording this on the 4th of June 2021. So everything that I talk about, the card decks and the creation of them, the process, what's happening with them, is all valid from this date, so the 4th of June. So things are always changing. So if you're watching this in a year's time, in June 2022, then I'm sure everything's changed by then. But this should be relevant for the next sort of 6 months or so. So first of all, my latest card deck, which is the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, which have this back, and you also see them when I do the weekly guidance with this deck combined with the Animal Kingdom. These are available now. This is the only deck I have available. The others have sold out. So Animal Kingdom Oracle cards are available now. So that's that. Now, my Speed of Light Oracle cards, which you also see in my weekly guidance. So we have the Animal Kingdom I just talked about, that's combined with the Speed of Light Oracle. They come in this box and by themselves look like this. These have sold out late into 2020. So these are currently at the printers. So they're literally waiting to be printed now. Our deposit for printing is paid, and on the 1st of July the pre-orders will open for the second print run of this deck. So Speed of Light Oracle cards you're going to hear me talking about, and you're going to see the cards around more from probably later in June. The 1st of July, pre-orders open, and it's hard to say when the deck will arrive, but I will know by the time the pre-orders open. So that's the Speed of Light Oracle cards, currently sold out, but pre-orders are imminent. Printing is soon to happen, literally in the next week or two, hopefully. So that covers the combined deck that you see me use a lot. So I use these in my Heaven on Earth readings, the email readings, and also in the weekly guidance. It's my favourite deck to use for readings. So that takes me to the Healing Energy cards. So Healing Energy cards, you may recognise them like this. I use them a lot in my healing videos. I use them a lot for my own healing. These are really powerful decks. This is the most popular of all of the decks, and these are also sold out. So the second print run that we had done, actually it was the third print run that we had done, sold out also at the end of 2020. So these are probably ones that you're familiar with. These are currently being upgraded. So these have been upgraded and are going to be called the Healing Energy Cards Original Deck. Original deck, cards 1 to 55. Now this original deck, which I've printed some templates, which I've started using today, you'll notice cards that are already in the original deck, like the Soul Chakras, we've got Support, I've changed some of the wording, but then we've got some new ones. So the Creation card has a new illustration. I'm Expanding doesn't. Reflections doesn't. Third Eye Opening does. New illustration. So what I'm thinking, expansion's new. So I'm thinking that soothing's the same. I can get you exact numbers on what's changed. Anyway, I'll put it in the blog that I will use with this video. So you'll see some familiar faces. You'll see some new ones like Emotional Healing. That's new. There's still I think at least 10 more, maybe it's about 14 more new illustrations that I'll be doing for these. Some of them have had a change, like this used to be card 10, Mental Healing, and it's now changed to card 10, mental emergence, and it's got a new illustration and an upgraded meaning. So the original deck is in the process of being upgraded. So not only some new illustrations, some new titles for the cards, but you'll also notice, at least for now, although that one I forgot to print that one on, but there are little symbols here in these corners. I don't know if I'm going to keep these symbols, but this is just a starting point while I'm working out what I want to do with this deck. So we've got 5 categories, and these are going to be imprinted too on all of the original cards. So these are going to be the same size as the deck that you probably know. You do not have to upgrade this deck unless you want to this new deck to use the second healing energy cards that I'm also making, which is a brand new deck. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. So this is the startings of the original deck, which are currently in the process of being upgraded. So that's this deck upgraded. It's the same thing, but a few new things in it. I'm also, in 2019, I started series illustrations on my next brand new deck, which is healing energy cards, but the expansion. So we're now expanding. So this is cards 1 to 55. This deck, the new deck, is cards 56 to 110. And these are what we call a standalone expansion. So that means these cards, 56 to 110, they can work fine on their own, or they can be combined with the new original deck, or they can be combined with the old original deck. It doesn't look like they combine now because these are just my practice cards. They have not been printed properly yet. So your old deck, your original deck, your deck from a couple of years ago that looks like this can go with the brand new healing energy cards number 2. So you have the option of combining together to make 110 cards. You can use this deck on its own, or you can use the new upgraded original deck on its own or combined. They're all going to be the exact same size card and the exact same size as the original deck. I trust that makes sense. So in the Healing Energy Cards 2, which is this deck, cards 56 to 110, the standalone expansion, these are all brand new cards. So we've got new things that we're looking at. We've got Life Tree. This one came up yesterday in a healing that I did, which was actually really powerful. Isolating the Problem is a new card. All of these are new. The Runway is Clear. That came up yesterday too. Improvement, Sword of Truth. So these are all, this is a brand new deck. Card 110 coming full circle. So that's that. Now I also want to talk a bit about the categories. So there are 5 categories. And for now, we see them, like I said, as a little symbol here in the corner. So when you see me sharing cards from this deck, they're going to have a symbol. So this symbol here, the little blue one here on the side, is the rest symbol. The rest. So this is talking about the energy, the overall energy of this card being about rest. It's sort of like retreating into the cave for healing, for rest time, for downtime, for reflection. So that's kind of the general energy of this card. Now, if you're doing a whole spread and you've got a lot of rest from the rest category, then there's probably a general feel of rest that you're in the process of at that time. Another one of the categories, so I want to cover them all. Here's another one called Depth. So this is a little green circle that sits down at the bottom of the diamond. And the Depth card, this is about dropping deeper. So I think of dropping deeper into ourselves, into that sort of, imagine dropping into the ocean or into the insides of a volcano. There's depth, that depth energy when we're pulled into it, when we're in that space of depth. There is sort of a search or a quest for meaning, for purpose, and it's quite deeply, sits quite deeply inside. So the depth energy and that sort of general feel is one of the categories. Another category here is this red circle in the diamond that we will see as the action symbol or the action category. I think I'm going to sneeze, speaking of action, and then I say that and it passes. Good. Okay, so action is quite self-explanatory. It's about movement. So it's about our life's path. It's about taking action. It's about the energy moving. So usually the cards, like this one, Own Your Power, this has a very strong action sort of undertone, we could say. So if we get that in a group of action cards in our spread, then that is encouraging us to really think about what we need to take action on, maybe what we need to be proactive with, for example, too. That leaves us with two other categories. So one of them here is Rise, which is the yellow circle in the above corner here of the diamond. Rise. I think of the rise like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So there is a vertical sort of upliftment with this rise energy. So it's very much also has action. So it's quite a proactive kind of energy or category, we could say. But it's sort of uplifting at the same time. So we might be thinking of upgrading, of lifting ourselves up, moving things in our life to the next level, that sort of thing. You will notice too that, so this is on the vertical path. There's a little path here. So we've got rise up on the vertical, going up. We've got depth that sits, like I showed before, it sits in this bottom section of that vertical line. So that's about depth going down, but they're both sitting on the vertical. Whereas the other symbols I talked about, we've got the action, or actually the action was on this side because it's sort of mirrored for me. The action is about our life's path. So on the horizontal, it's about movement forward, whereas the rest one that sits back on that horizontal path, that's about sitting back in the cave. We may be in contemplative, healing mode, that sort of thing. And then the last category is neutral. Neutral, which sits right in the middle here. And for now, it's a white circle. I don't know if this will change. But neutral is basically any possibility here. So the neutral energy is like center. It's like, it can also be like abundance as well here when things are in this neutral position. There is also potential for it to move, the energy to move into any of those other four kind of themes or areas. So if you have a lot of cards out with this neutral symbol, I would think that there are possibilities available. So it feels like possibilities, almost like all of the other categories in that one place. It's like potential. That's what I know of the symbols without practically, because I've only just picked these up a couple of days ago, without really practically using them. That's what I've been feeling. And I've been working with these five energies for many years. So it's really exciting to get them down into the cards and help the cards access that deeper energy. So do you have any questions about currently what's going on with the cards? With the new cards I'm making, the speed of light that are coming, I think they're all pretty self-explanatory. Let me just see if I've forgotten anything that I've made notes about. Now the decks, these two decks, the original deck, which is the upgraded version of this, that you probably already know, that upgraded deck, and Healing Energy cards too, they are going to be sold separately. So you can choose whether you want to use the upgraded original deck, or if you want to add the Healing Energy cards to the standalone expansion in with your old deck. So they will be sold separately, so you know. Let me just check my notes and make sure I've covered everything. Okay, are there any questions? The sort of timeline. Oh, that's weird, Angel. Yes, a bit of deja vu there. That's interesting. Thank you, everybody. Good morning to you all. Sorry, I'm just in my zone. Yes, so thank you, Shona. I'm just about to talk about my plan. So when will these be available? These are being printed together separately. They will not come with a guidebook, so there will be an ebook, just like with the other healing energy cards. They have information, and then they're really there to encourage you to trust your intuition. So you could use them just with this information and then let them evolve and grow with you, just like I've encouraged with the other original healing energy cards since 2008 when they came. So they will be printed together. They are being refined together too. So the current timeline as of the 4th of June 2021. So I still have, so how many exactly? I've got I think I've got 14 more artworks to do to upgrade the original deck. So I'm planning, the intention is to have all artwork done by the 1st of September. So that's my personal deadline. As cards are done, like tomorrow in our next online art class, we are upgrading the Healing Hands card. This card here we're working on in my art class to upgrade. So by the end of tomorrow, that card, the new illustration will be done. So I'm going to then start adding these printed ones to this deck here, my test deck. So the next 14 cards will be added before the 1st of September. In the meantime, I'm going to still be using and doing interactive readings and in my healing videos, in my healing sessions. And for me personally, I'm going to be using these cards a lot to start crossing out words, adding words, changing things, adjusting things that need it, because the testing period is really important when you're creating a deck of cards, because you want the deck of cards to be accurate, and you can't just pluck things out of thin air for cards to be accurate. Even if you say you're channeling, they need to, in my opinion, they need to be practically worked. So this is a very serious thing for me, because it's very expensive getting cards printed and it's a big commitment. I don't want to get them done because the pictures look good or whatever and have them not be accurate or not be practical. That would just be ridiculous and a waste of money, in my opinion. So I'm a very practical person, and I'll be working very hard on making sure these decks are as unique and accurate and practical as possible. So that means I've started already the refinement or the practice. That's going to happen with all the cards once they're done by the 1st of September. That'll be my intensive testing mode. So keep your eye out for lots of interactive readings and card pulls. I'll be doing that a lot. And I really, if you're involved in that, I really encourage you to be really honest with your feedback, because it's important to me to know exactly what this relates to. So if you are open to telling me privately or in a comment to the card that's pulled for you, it's very helpful if you say, well, I'm in the middle of this or the middle of that, because then I can go, okay, yep, I see where that fits in. So that's more helpful to me than you saying, that's amazing or whatever, because that, as much as that's great, it doesn't really help me with my refinement that much. So a little description of whatever you want to share that makes sense or that fits in will help me understand how the cards are going. So your help with that is fantastic. So I'm really looking for their accuracy, their uniqueness. So all the cards need to mean different things. I can't have 2 or 3 cards that mean something similar, because that would just be silly too. So I need to make sure that we're not overlapping on meanings too much. The cards need to be clear from my perspective and suitable and practical. So by the 1st of February 2022, I think that I would have all of that testing period done. It may be a bit sooner if I get a lot of time to, really get into the testing process. I am testing 2 card decks at once. So usually I would test for 6 or 12 months 1 deck of 55 cards, but I'm testing 2 decks. Even though there are the same sorts of cards I've been using for years, some of them have changed. So I need to just make sure everything's done. So hopefully that'll be done by the 1st of February. Then I'll need about a month to get all of the files done. So I'm updating already. I found a few spelling mistakes. So I'm updating the file, the actual printing file that will go to the printers. I'm updating that as I go, and I'll make notes on these cards on the back and things if there's anything else that needs changing. So I need about a month to get the files ready for printing, the box designs, all that sort of stuff. That all takes quite a lot of time. And then I hope to have things ready for the printers around the 1st of March 2022, which then we need to allow a couple of months really for printing. So usually there's a month or two wait for the printer to be ready, and then it takes about a month, and then it can take probably up to a month for them to actually be shipped out and pass through customs and all that fun stuff. So that's sort of the plan. Yeah, so let me just see questions I thought I saw. Yep, so Shona, when will they be available? Hopefully around the middle of 2022. Thank you. When is the expansion deck available? Yes, so the Animal Kingdom Oracle cards are the only deck I have available. We still have lots of these left. They've not long really come out in 2018, so we've still got several hundred decks, I think. That's the only deck I have available, so they're available now. And like I said at the beginning, the Speed of Light Oracle are sold out, but are now at the printers, so they'll be out in the next couple of months. Pre-orders open on the 1st of July. The expansion and the healing energy cards won't be available to the middle of 2022. All going well, all going well. Thank you so much. Why does these comments just keep flicking back up to where I've already been? I'm sorry, I'm a bit slow here. Facebook! Okay. Oh my goodness, you've been really silly. All right, let's try something different. Canty says, how does the interactive readings work in relation to tuning it? Okay, so because I'm very sensitive to this sort of energy, I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm very sensitive to the cards. I can get a feel for, if I'm doing, like today, I did the interactive reading of 10 cards. So to grab 10 cards of this combined deck actually reveals a lot to me, although a lot of the old cards came out for some weird reason. But it helps me see and make sure that things aren't repeating themselves. The best way for me to know if something's being repetitive is to do a bunch of cards at once. So the interactive readings help with that, and also the feedback, hopefully, that I get is helpful. So it's more helpful for me to see how it relates to you personally than for you to tell me if something's right or wrong, because that's really up to me to decide, because I'm seeing maybe this one card, maybe this card, mental emergence. This may come out 20, 30 times while I'm testing it. So it's more helpful for me to get the feedback more on a personal level if that's something you're open to, than for you to say that's wrong, that doesn't fit, or that's yes, that's amazing. So the yes or no things aren't really that helpful. It's more like this is what I've got going on, or what have you. That will help me really see the bigger picture of what this card's about. Yeah, and the more I can use them, the more I'm going to know about the cards, which is going to help me then with that refinement. So thank you for that, Canty. Why on earth are these comments are just being really annoying, because they're just flicking back up. Facebook. Nettie says, can I advertise your card to my page? Of course you can if you like, but they are in creation now. But thank you. I think that's all I really need to say. So I'm going to put this video in the blog. There's a blog on my website, templeofbalance.com.au, that says healing energy cards. Something. I can't think what it says. Update or something. And it's talking about the timeline, my personal timeline deadline. These are self-published, so I'm not running to any publishers' deadlines or anything. These are my personal deadlines that I set myself. So I will add this video to that, and I'm updating this as we get more illustrations done, and as certain phases happen, then this Healing Energy Cards updated blog will be revised, and then I share that on my Facebook pages and groups. So it's very exciting. It's a very exciting process, creating a deck of cards. It's a big job. It takes years. It really takes years if you're serious about it. There are some terrible decks out there, honestly, and a lot of them are under the names of publishers that are very cold and not very accurate, is my experience. And I have taken that and learned from that I certainly don't want my cards to feel that way. You know, like there's a couple of decks that I've purchased in the past. The artwork's amazing, and then I go to pull cards to help myself, and it's like, this just doesn't make any sense to me. It's just all, there's lots of fluffy words too out there. So the practicality of this is important. So there are tough cards. You know, there are tough cards in here. This is not all love and light. We have, you know, intense cards, broken heart, disappointment, the healing of that. There is this that I made, the Knight of the Fire, painful reality. And at the moment it says urgency, emergency, urgent, sudden, chaos, difficulty, one-off event, change, processing what happened, looking for the good in the bad, what have you. So my cards are not glossy, they're not love and light, they're not sprinkling flower petals over everything. I want them to be practical and, you know, nitty gritty to help us in our everyday life and the dramas and the challenges and the successes that we experience. So there is honesty in these cards, there is practicality, and I trust that you feel that. You probably already have from my decks if you've been using them before. But these new decks are not going to be any different at all, if not better, because I'm getting better at creating cards now. This is like my 5th deck that I've made. The second healing deck, I don't know which deck you mean, Renee. Are you making the second healing deck? Am I still making it? Do you mean the second healing energy cards? These are finished, if that's what you mean. All the artwork's done. All the cards are done. The only thing I'm waiting on is about 14 illustrations from my original deck. Since I decided I needed to reprint, I thought I could make the artwork better. So I think that's all I need to say. Thanks so much for watching, and as things change, if I need to, I'll do another updated video, but this hopefully is clear enough with everything that's been asked. So thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.